This is CBC Here and Now.
How do we buy groceries? How do we, pay normal household bills?
The crushing financial cost of battling cancer.
You need a lot of funding behind you actually when you get cancer.
It's going to take good, full-time, middle-class jobs out of our community.
DFO plans to cut quota here to start up an Indigenous fishery.
We were blindsided.
Will Carl English play at home for the St. John's Edge?
It's 50-50 right now.
He lays up the pros and cons of playing at Mile 1.
Clearing skies for most tonight, but keep the umbrella handy as showers build back in across the province for tomorrow. Your timeline coming up.
We begin tonight with a story about a cancer patient who's not only fighting for her life, she's also fighting to keep her home to pay her bills.
Diane Bishop has stage 4 breast cancer and her prognosis is bad, but she says she can't afford to quit her job. Here Now's Carolyn Stokes joins us now to explain the situation.
Well, Diane Bishop has an aggressive form of breast cancer known as triple negative, and it's spread to her lungs and pelvic bone. She had surgery, rounds and rounds of chemotherapy and radiation. So far, nothing has worked, and those treatments have ravaged her body.
Very tired, and you get nauseated, and there's shortness of breath. It's bone pain, joint pain, a long list of side effects, and one of them you get to lose your hair, which you cover with a wig or a hat. It takes away a lot of dignity to some people, but, it is a realization that you have cancer when you have a bald head, right?
And all of those side effects are taking a serious toll. Bishop is a single mother, raised 2 sons, now in their 20s. She worked all of her adult life and for the past 5 years has been the franchisee at this needs store in Mount Pearl. Now, it's a job she dearly loves, but it's getting harder and harder to do. She's not ready to quit yet, but the day may come and come soon. She says people with this form of cancer typically survive 18 months to 2 years, but she's facing another new reality, a financial one. No matter how she's feeling, she says she can't afford to stop working.
Well, you try to stay one step ahead of what's going to happen. So I started thinking, okay, well, the store is becoming a little bit more difficult to get up and go to. So what happens when I can't do that anymore? What happens when I can't work? So I started making a few phone calls. And it's not good. I mean, the government, will give you sick leave. So I can file for that and get 15 weeks EI sick leave. And I can file for my CPP disability, which will come about 4 months after. And they told me that if I qualify, the most that I could get is $1,127. But my Canada disability is counted as income, so that would be deducted dollar for dollar. So basically, I'm expected to live off $1,127. I have a mortgage that I pay by myself. I am the sole breadwinner in this household. So if I take my $1,127 and pay my mortgage, then how do we buy groceries? How do we, pay normal household bills? We don't. But basically, once I leave my work, I have no income to survive. We don't ask to be taken off work. We don't ask for a very short lifespan. I mean, I wanted to see grandchildren. I got so much that I want to live for, that I'm not ready to go. And, it's difficult that you face these challenges. And then on top of it, to face, how do I live? Right? Sorry.
It's okay.
I've been talking to a number of government officials, and because of the way things are worded in a book for people like myself who are middle class workers who find themselves in a situation we had no control over, there's no help for us. There's help for if we were on social assistance. If I can't pay my mortgage, then the bank takes over my house. That's a financial stress that I don't need in my life right now. I'm trying to smile every day, and I do. I go to work and I smile, and I go out and I do things and I smile because, I can't frown and dwell on cancer every day. But unfortunately now, I face the new problem of how do I financially survive?
And that's a question no one has been able to answer for her. She says she has called many government departments. The response, lots of sympathy, but no solutions. And time is not on her side. She has another round of chemotherapy coming up. And if that doesn't work, her only hope is to join a clinical trial that's happening in Ontario, another option she can't afford. Reporting live for Here and Now, I'm Carolyn Stokes.
To breaking news now on a labor dispute at the Country Ribbon chicken processing facility in St. John's. Just 2 days after the almost 300 workers rejected the latest contract offer from the company, the CEO sent a memo to employees outlining what will happen if they don't accept the offer. Here Now's Fred Hutton joins us live with the details. Fred.
Anthony, the 300 people who work for Country Ribbon in Pleasantville and the hatchery barns at Octagon Pond just outside St. John's, probably feeling a lot of pressure this evening. They've got a difficult decision to make. Yesterday, the head of the company sent them a memo. They've brought that home this evening now, outlining what has to happen in order for the company to continue as it is. Now, after rejecting the latest proposal from the company over the weekend yesterday, the CEO, Ian Blenkarn, says he tried to meet with employees to further explain the company's offer. It touched on the pay raise that is offered to the workers and the need for some work to happen on the weekend after lost time because of stormy weather. But perhaps most telling about the seriousness of this situation is the fact that he revealed the company has not put any chicks in the barns for almost 2 weeks. He says there have also been no eggs placed in the incubators at the hatchery that provides Country Ribbon its chicks. So no chickens will mean no work for employees. Blenkarn finishes by saying the company can no longer continue to borrow funds to sustain the business. He goes on to say at some point it needs to invest profits back into the company, and a lack of profit and investment in the company will result in the demise of Country Ribbon as we know it today. Now, Blenkarn said in his memo that essentially the last couple of years they have been investing in the company but not turning a profit, not as much as the company needs. We attempted to contact Mr. Blenkarn. He did not return our call. Debbie?
Thanks very much. That's our Fred Hutton reporting for Here Now Live tonight. Well, Teen Driver Safety Week started today at Crescent Collegiate in Blaketown, the school Hannah Thorne attended. The 18-year-old died in 2016 after the car she was in was struck by a truck. Now her friends want to make sure that no one else loses their life to negligent driving. Here Now's Jeremy Eaton has that story.
Students in this gym know the consequences of negligent driving. Hannah Thorne's graduation cap and diploma hang in the front lobby under a tile she had painted to leave behind when she graduated.
Hannah's death was 100% preventable. Negligent driving is happening daily and fatalities are becoming more frequent.
Surrounded by the Stand for Hannah group, some students wore Hannah's favorite color and her lipstick. Service NL picked her school as the backdrop for their program launch. The aim, get teens to focus on the road and off their phones.
The younger generation can make some changes and influence the rest of us to make sure that we're safer on our roads. Our goal is that we all arrive home at the end of the day to our destination safely.
The most upsetting part about Hannah's death is that it was completely preventable.
Longtime friend Sarah March shared story about how her and her friend's life have been affected.
Most of the senior highs now, they have their driver's license. And where Hannah only graduated a few years ago, it is nice to try to get people to see that driving is a serious thing and it needs to be taken seriously.
Well, it's definitely a big opportunity to really give everybody the awareness and to help everybody realize that this is serious and that everyone needs to slow down on the roads and be careful what they're doing all the time.
But March has a message to her peers who pick up the phone while driving.
I would say just don't do it. Don't even think about doing it, because you're not only putting your life in danger, you're also endangering others as well.
To remind motorists driving by of that message, the school erected a sign of its own to warn passerbys to drive safely on the roads. Jeremy Eaton, CBC News, Blaketown.
A review shows the amount of money unaccounted for at Mile 1 is about half what officials first thought. The City of St. John's called on its internal auditors after it discovered that cash from the food and beverage booths of Mile 1 didn't match accounting records. The discrepancy totaled nearly $115,000. But the following audit showed that the missing amount is down to about $58,000. Auditors discovered accounting errors and omissions over the last 5 years, but there's no explanation for the almost $60,000 that is still unaccounted for. The city is looking at tightening up its controls around cash flow.
The troubled Condo project, owned in part by Premier Dwight Ball, was front and center in the House of Assembly today. The PC party raised questions after a Here and Now story detailing the plight of 2 seniors who can't sell the condo they inherited. The Premier says his assets are in a blind trust, so he isn't involved in the Sundara condo development. But one minister didn't like the question. Here's part of that exchange.
Since the plight of residents at Sundara has faced over a number of years, have new or additional steps been taken to enhance consumer protection for condo owners?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I'll stand up and take this question. The fact is that we have a situation here, and I know everybody on this side feels concern for anybody that's been done wrong by this situation. But the fact is that the fact that this opposition is going down this path today, a day where we're here talking about Elections Act, talking about democracy. We're here talking about Muskrat Falls inquiries. We're here talking about the fiscal situation of this province. And the opposition wants to get into a mudslinging match. Here's what they're trying to do, Mr. Speaker. The fact is, it's absolutely despicable. But please, ask another question. Thank you.
I'd like to remind the Minister of Justice that this is about 2 ladies that find an unfortunate situation trying to settle to the death of their brother. This is what this is about. This is not about mudslinging. This is about residents of Newfoundland and Labrador. And my question is to the Minister of Service NL, and it's a simple question. Have you any new or additional steps been taken to enhance consumer protection when it comes to condo affairs?
The member asked a question, and I'm going to answer this question. And again, he can say what he wants, but we all know the question that he's asking here. If he wants an answer to the first part about consumer protection, I can guarantee you that every member here, especially the member for Service NL, and certainly I do as well as the person responsible for legislation, we're willing to look at all measures necessary to protect consumers in this province. Again, it's a piece of legislation that I looked into when I was in opposition, but of course the government at the time did absolutely nothing about it.
All right, let's bring Ryan now to talk about the weather. I walked to work today, part of my TV weight loss program, and I should have brought the gloves. It was a cold one.
What a difference from yesterday afternoon to the temperature that we're experiencing today.
In some cases, 15 degrees cooler.
Really?
Of course, Gander was a high of 20 yesterday. 5 this afternoon. Now, in terms of where temperatures are sitting right now, let's have a look. And you can see our 24-hour temperature change map. 10 degrees cooler right now than it was 24 hours ago in St. John's. 12 degrees cooler in Bonavista. Now, Gander, yeah, you had already seen that temperature drop at this point yesterday, so just a 3-degree difference there. Here is where we sit in terms of current temperatures. Basically 3, 4, 5 degrees right across the board on the island, a little bit warmer along the south coast, and temperatures near that freezing mark in Labrador as well. We're still looking at a couple of little spits of showers hanging on across the Avalon. Generally, though, we're clearing out across the island and through eastern Labrador tonight, but our next system, knock, 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 knocking on the door, and we'll roll in as we roll through the overnight hours tonight with snow into Labrador City. That pushes into Happy Valley Goose Bay just before morning tomorrow, and with at least a risk of seeing some flurries. It's a quiet start across the island, but this mess will work its way in slowly but surely through the day. We'll break down your timeline and your full forecast details in just a few minutes.
This is very steep. It's gonna break a second.
Living in Newfoundland and Labrador with a disability. Do we live in a segregated society?
Anybody in a wheelchair would not have gotten around.
From finding a job to getting onto the sidewalk, everything's harder. Let's talk solutions.
Like I said, we do have a beautiful city. There's a lot to see and there's a lot to offer, but it's not offered to everyone.
Join us as we take a candid look at accessibility in this province.
There are a lot of disappointed Hey Rosetta fans this evening. Concert goers hoping to catch the band's last Christmas show scrambled when tickets went on sale yesterday, but sold out almost immediately. Here Now's Ariana Kelland reports.
For Hey Rosetta fans, this year's annual Christmas show is the one to see. It'll be the band's last, at least for the foreseeable future. So when tickets went on sale yesterday morning, fans expected a rush, but not like this.
it was pretty clear that I wasn't going to get a ticket anytime soon. I've been a music fan for a long time. Usually with concerts with a lot of hype like this, tickets are gone within 10 or 15 minutes. It seemed a lot more they were gone in 2 or 3 minutes.
Fans went online to try for resold tickets and to share their stories of ticketless woe. Some say the eTix Now website crashed at the last minute while they were trying to pay. No tickets, no confirmation.
In some cases, people were charged for multiple tickets but will now get a refund. eTix Now says customers who were first were able to secure tickets without issue, and that it appears all confirmed orders were placed by real people, not bots. Now they're asking for patience. Exasperated fans are pushing for the show to move somewhere larger, like Mile One Center. The band tweeted they're looking into it. But Connors says the Delta Ballroom has its own appeal.
It's an event and it's a tradition in the city now. And the idea that it's made unavailable to a lot of people who really want to go is a little disheartening, but hopefully that means there'll be a third night opened or a fourth or a fifth night. But I hope that they don't change from the Delta, because that's a really great venue and that's where the tradition lives.
Until then, some are willing to spend more than triple ticket price to see their farewell.
I kind of think of it as like what you spend on an engagement ring. 1 month's salary seems about appropriate to see one of your favorite bands off for the last time.
Ariana Kelland, CBC News, St. John's.
St. Mark's Anglican Church still passes around a collection plate every Sunday, but now there's a new way to give. It's a debit machine. The announcement got a lot of attention in social media today, but the church reverend says it's just a sign of the times. Here now's Zach Gowdy dropped by St. Mark's for a look.
So, Reverend Cook, are you guys trading in your collection plate for a debit machine here at St. Mark's?
Not at all, not at all. Actually, what we're doing is just adding another way that people can contribute to the work of St. Mark's. So the debit machine will not be passed around as the collection plate is. It's actually going to be located in our office space. If people want to use that, they have to seek us out or one of our ushers to actually physically come out and do that.
So where did the impetus to bring in this piece of technology come from?
Actually, it came from the people, from the congregation, and from other people who said you need to make giving more accessible. And so we've done a number of things down through the years. You can give online through our website, and now this is just another step.
Could you maybe take this one step further? I mean, have people text their contribution during the offering on Sunday?
It's funny you say that, because I just had a conversation yesterday with someone who said the church should look into that as well. So the demand is coming from people. They want to give to things that they believe in, groups that they believe in, and are excited about the work that they're doing. So we figured it was just natural for us to do this.
What's the reaction from parishioners since you sort of put this out there?
From parishioners, all positive. From people outside, mixed.
Yeah?
Yeah.
In what way?
I think some things got misconstrued in social media and some other news outlets, and I think people reacted without knowing the full story of actually what we were doing. And if people had actually talked to us or knew what we're about, they would know that this is not a money grab. This is not the church desperate for more money. Money is not all the church talks about, but we do use people's financial giving so that we can do good work in the community through food banks, other community agencies, breakfast programs, all kinds of wonderful things that happen in the community that we're really excited to be a part of. And this is a way for people to partner with us as we partner with other groups.
And given the sacredness, of all aspects of church, is there any kind of hesitancy when you embrace anything modern or technological?
Yeah, I would say so. People expect the church to be stuck in its ways, to be outdated. And so I can see where when the church is trying to do something new and progressive like this, that people would respond in a negative way. But we're no different than any other charity or religious or spiritual group. And this is just where society is right now. I know all my personal banking, givings, everything is all electronic now. And so the church just needs to adapt.
It is just a sign of the times.
Modern times, and as they say, in God we trust, and all others pay with debit. Lots of clams, processing clams at this very successful fish plant here in Grand Bank, but that could change because the federal government wants to start a new Indigenous fishery. Welcome back to Here and Now. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau says he wants to find opportunities for Aboriginal people, and to that end, the Department of Fisheries and Oceans is starting what it calls a new Indigenous fishery. Workers at Clearwater's plant in Grand Bank are caught up in the middle of this, and that's because DFO wants to take away a substantial chunk of their Arctic surf clam quota and give it to a new Aboriginal player. In a moment, we're going to hear from DFO, but first, a conversation with a very concerned person, the Mayor of Grand Bank. What will the impact of this quota reduction be on the plant behind us?
In terms of the processing plant here in Grand Bank, the 25% reduction in the TAC for Arctic surf clam will mean either we're going to lose a number of full-time workers to middle-class jobs, or we're going to be on a part-time basis. So whichever way you look at it, it's really going to be a negative impact on the economy of Grand Bank.
You mentioned TAC, total allowable catch. Why has the government decided it has to reduce that by 25%?
Well, it appears to be it's to do with the indigenous people and the reconciliation. And we all understand the struggles right across this country and the challenges of the Indigenous people. We understand that and we respect it. But what it's going to do, like to rural Newfoundland and this terms, Grand Bank and our area, like it's going to take good full-time middle-class jobs out of our community, and it's really going to hurt our whole economy.
Because that plant runs 12 months a year, right?
It's probably one of the only fish processing plants in Canada that's operating 12 months a year. And our people have 2 shifts full-time, mostly 6 days a week. So, and they pay reasonable wages and benefits. So it's going to be a major impact.
What do you think the minister should have done?
Well, personally, I thought the minister should have looked at other options before he decided to come in and expropriate. We were blindsided. This never came up in any of our discussions. Never heard tell it before until he made that announcement.
And what will the impact be on your town, Grand Bank, and on the Burin Peninsula?
Well, with respect to Grand Bank, we have people in that processing plant that works from almost every community on the Burin Peninsula. It's a regional plant. It's just not like it's a Grand Bank. It's a regional plant, and it's going to impact every community and the whole economy on the Burin Peninsula. And I didn't see the minister doing it. I didn't see DFO even coming up with that sort of a solution. It was so far out and never heard tell of before. So are they going to take other quotas in Newfoundland and Labrador? Are they going to look at other industries like the farming or timber rights or mineral rights? Are they going to expropriate, or is it just going to be here in Newfoundland and Labrador, one community, one species, one company, and one province? I mean, Newfoundland and Labrador, we always seem to get a very raw deal when it comes to decision by the federal government.
Is this a done deal? Is this done?
Well, the minister says no, it's not a done deal, but it is a done deal. I mean, you don't make a major decision and then backtrack. I mean, he's made that commitment to the Indigenous people, and he has that responsibility to carry it through. But I don't see him backtracking, not in the least.
Redirecting a big portion of the Arctic surf clam quota to an Aboriginal fishery could have a harmful impact on Clearwater's fish plant in Grand Bank, as you've just seen. Joining us now to discuss this policy change, we've got Regional Director for DFO, Doug Wenzel, for the Maritimes. Mr. Wenzel, welcome to Here and Now.
Good afternoon.
Now, what's the rationale for this policy change? Why take a resource away from a small town in Newfoundland to give to a as yet to be named Aboriginal fishery?
So I think it's important to clarify that this decision has been made to broaden access to this fishery, where there has been one license holder for a number of years. And through that decision, the department is looking to introduce Indigenous participation in the offshore, and we're looking to do that to, again, broaden the access and the benefits.
Right. So these Arctic surf clams that are being processed here, some of these are going, 25% will go to some kind of Aboriginal entity in one of the 4 Atlantic provinces or Quebec, right?
That is correct, yeah.
So I think a lot of people think that the federal government is trying or should try to help improve the lives of Aboriginal people, but why should that fall on a small fish plant in Newfoundland?
Well, and I think, when we look at this decision, first of all, we don't know what the outcome will be for communities in Newfoundland because we don't know who the successful applicant will be. And I think in addition to that, in terms of where the product is landed, where it is processed currently and in the future, will be a decision of those license holders. So I think in terms of the management decisions of the license holders,
right,
that'll be something that will be a decision that will fall to them.
What would you say to people in Greenbank who don't think the way this is being done is fair, regardless of the noble purpose of trying to help Aboriginal people? It just isn't fair to these people.
Right, and I think you know, we are trying to be extremely transparent in terms of the process. And making sure that we look at the significant benefits and the broader outcomes that will be achieved. And what I would say again is that in terms of management decisions related to the fishery, companies respond to changes in access, changes to allocation, and changes in sheer abundance from year to year. And I think you know, the company that is currently involved in the fishery and any entities in the future will certainly continue to manage those changes.
What's driving this policy change? Clearly, your minister, Dominic LeBlanc, is a good friend of the Prime Minister's. The Prime Minister has made it clear he wants to help improve the lives of Native people. Who's driving this, DFO or the PMO?
Well, I think certainly the Government of Canada has been extremely clear around the priority that's given to reconciliation with Indigenous communities. And our department, the same as all departments, takes that into consideration with any decisions we make in terms of not just the rights of Indigenous communities, but also the interests as well. So those decisions are something that happen at the departmental level, and they've been happening through any number of fisheries management decisions.
Last question, though. Any concern that when you take a resource away from a place with high unemployment and give it to an Aboriginal group of any kind, that you actually increase tension as opposed to reducing it?
And again, I think we've got to be clear that any decisions around the processing and the management of the product is something that will happen by the license holder. So I think it's too early to comment on whether or not we would actually see those impacts to any individual community.
Appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Now, I think I said Greenbank there. I was just testing how carefully you're watching here now tonight. We did ask Clearwater how is it going to manage this quota reduction, and in a statement the company says, "We continue to work towards understanding the minister's announcement and determining our best course of action." The company says it firmly supports the objectives of reconciliation with Indigenous groups and that it is committed to solutions that achieve these objectives and protect the livelihoods of employees in coastal communities across Nova Scotia and Newfoundland. Meanwhile, the chief of the Miabugig First Nation at Conn River applauds a new Indigenous fishery. Mizel Joe says he intends to make a proposal along with 2 other Aboriginal communities in the province. DFO will award that fishery, as mentioned, to one of the 4 Atlantic provinces or Quebec.
David Howells has snapped photos of presidents and rock stars, and now he's turned his lens on this province, his new home. That story is up next.
This weather update is brought to you by the Take Charge Business Efficiency Program. Over 400 businesses have saved energy and taken charge of their bottom line. Find out how you can too.
Welcome back to Here and Now once again, and I managed to get out this morning for a walk around the lake. The dogs were begging me to go, but it was, you had to dress for it.
You definitely had to dress for it. Just kind of cool and dreary. Though I will say this, out of a cloudy day, which it was today, I think fall is probably the most tolerable for a cloudy day. Cloudy day in the spring.
So. Yeah.
Another cloudy day. Cloudy day in the summer, oh, what a waste of a day. Cloudy day in the winter, but cloudy day in the fall, at least you have scenes like this where the fall colors are certainly brightening things up. And this is a beautiful picture. It was taken by Debbie Sampson today and taken in Hamden White Bay. And a beautiful shot there. You can see some nice little reds and oranges starting into the mix there. Yeah, nice day, even though it was cloudy. And in fact, how about this? We actually had a few flurries in the mix today over Grossmorn, and we'll see likely more flurries in the mix tomorrow in places like Grossmorn and all over the long-range mountains as snow and rain roll through Labrador. More showers for the island, but yes, some flurries in the mix for the higher elevations. And Thursday. That'll be the best day of the week for sure for the island. Lots of sunshine on the menu. Temperatures rising back into the low double digits, which is pretty good. We'll see even some warmer temperatures hanging into Friday, but the clouds build back in. So we'll talk more about that coming up in your long-range forecast. Highs today. Yeah, how about 20 in Gander yesterday, 5 today. So definitely a big temperature drop across the island. Labrador, again, pretty cool once again in those low single digits. And as we take a look at those current temperatures, we've already dropped to -1 in Labrador City, and we've got 2 to as much as another 5 centimeters on the way to Labrador City and down towards that even Churchill Falls region through the overnight tonight. Thanks to those northerly winds, which have been wrapping in on the other side of this low, it has just felt kind of raw today here in the northeast and across much of central parts of Newfoundland. And again, even for the west coast where the clouds have dominated. Now, in Labrador, we have had that system, this next system, already starting to roll in with the clouds. Now, watch the timeline here. Flurries into Labrador City, Churchill Falls. By early tomorrow morning, Happy Valley Goose Bay into the risk of seeing some flurries. It's a quiet start across the island, but quickly those showers will build in from west to east through the day, arriving into the later parts of the afternoon or the early evening for the Avalon region, central Newfoundland into the mix for the afternoon hours. And as we roll into the Thursday time period, the good news, it's a quick-moving system, and by early Thursday, again, looking pretty good, even into a southerly flow for Thursday, helping our temperatures starting to build, so we'll talk more about that coming up in your long range. Now, morning outlook tomorrow, we will be pretty frosty. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised there's to be some windshields to scrape across the metro region tomorrow. Low-lying areas are going to dip to the freezing mark, generally near 1 or 2 for most of us. As cold as -4 or 5 for central Newfoundland and low-lying areas tomorrow. Clouds thickening for the west as early as early tomorrow morning. -4 in Happy Valley Goose Bay. Now, your 7 to 7, we are going to rebound a little bit tomorrow. Winds will shift to west into the afternoon and then southwest tomorrow evening. So we should get to around 7 or 8 degrees in the metro region. Those chance of showers, again, building in through the afternoon with the best chance around home time and into the supper time and early evening hours. Again, shower chances by around 3 or 4 o'clock, which is this snapshot, certainly into Grand Falls, Windsor, down towards the Burin Peninsula, on the doorstep of Clarenville and Gander by this point. Temperatures, though, with that nice westerly flow, warming to as warm as 8 or 9 degrees. There are those flurries being picked up along the long-range mountains. Tomorrow, good chance of flurries, places like Cartwright, higher elevations of the Trans-Labrador Highway, and right across to western Labrador, where you will mix over with a few showers as temperatures rise to about 3 degrees. Thursday, Friday, and your weekend still ahead, Debbie.
Thanks very much, Ryan. Well, David Howells, he's a world-class photographer
question. Yeah.
with a world-class camera, and he now calls Newfoundland home.
And he snapped photos of presidents and rock stars, but as CBC's Amy Joy and Mark Cumby show us, Howells has encountered a subject in this province that's been much tougher to master.
You can be set up, you can be looking the right direction, you can have, the light can be perfect, but if they're not going to jump or they're not going to do something, then you're not getting a picture. 5 years ago, my buddy Joe said, you should come out on doing some whale watching. And so I was like, well, you know, God's gift to photography. Of course I'm going to nail this, you know, first time out. And of course it was a total disaster. I got like half a tail and, you know, a breach that was this big that was out of focus. And, you know, so I did what every self-respecting photographer would do, would buy an enormous lens and a faster camera. So, you know, try and stack the odds. A lot of the times the breaching ones, they'll start flapping around first. You know, one of their fins will start slapping, and that's an indicator that something might happen. There's going to be some jumping going on, or at least some action. And again, with the tail flopping, when they sort of flop the tails around, it gives you that that's the one that's going to, if anybody's going to be jumping, that's the one that's going to be jumping. I don't look at the back of the camera because that's how you miss things. So we're out on the boat, and this guy is jumping up and down, but he's not in the right place. And I said, okay, I need to go this way. So I'm giving direction. I can't help it. I'm art directing out on the boat, saying, no, we need to go this way. We need to be shooting into the sun. And then when it jumped up, it was exactly where I was looking. I just pulled it up, let rip. And these things are super fast, so it's like a sequence of it coming up and splashing down. And then, because I'm a jerk, I then turned to the captain and said, yeah, I think we can go in now. See, I told you I was a jerk. I didn't look at it until we got back shore, so I knew I got it. I'm not a wildlife photographer. I never did any wildlife stuff before I got to Newfoundland. You know, it was all news and portraits and all this sort of stuff. And it's very easy, not easy, and that's the wrong word, but you know, all your training comes in and you know that you're in a situation that you've been there before and you've done it before, and you know that what you have to do to get it again. But with this, the challenge is that you're not in control at all. When they do show themselves, then it's your ability to make something essentially out of nothing. It is luck. All of this is luck. It's because, you know, it's totally up to them.
Wow, it's quite something. I know that he's actually been to war zones and places of you know, conflict, but to see him, I think I'd rather be shooting whales the way he was.
They're spectacular. Yeah. It's funny how much better they are than the pictures I take on my phone.
Yeah, yeah. I hope you paid a lot of money for that strap. When I saw him on the side of the boat, I was thinking, ew.
Yeah, fabulous. Well, excitement is growing about the possibility that Newfoundland pro basketball player Carl English could be playing locally with the Edge. We'll put that question to him next. and welcome back to Here and Now. Will he or won't he? Rumors are swirling that Carl English may join the roster of the new Canadian basketball expansion team, the St. John's Edge. Carl English is the finest basketball player to come out of this province. A star with the University of Hawaii, his dream of making the NBA just fell short. But he's made a very good living since then, playing overseas. Today, Carl is back home, and we found him shooting hoops and keeping his game sharp. On the court with him, former Munn Seahawks player Noel Moffat. He played with the National League's Windsor Express last year, and he's hoping to find a spot with the St. John's Edge. But back to Carl. I asked him about his plans. Well, Carl English, it's been a year since we chatted right here, and you were deciding where you were going to play in Europe last year. Where did you end up?
First I was in Tenerife in Spain. I was there for about 2 months, and then they bought me out of my contract there, and I ended up in Alba Berlin in Germany.
And how was that season?
That was great. I mean, I finished up strong. Stayed healthy is the key right now. Great fan base, great team. I mean, you're playing in front of 12 to 14,000 every night, so it was a great atmosphere, and it was exciting.
Okay, I understand you've just finished training camp in Greece. You're not signed yet, and everybody wants to know, are you coming to play basketball here with the Edge?
It's 50-50 right now.
Really?
Yeah, so we're negotiating with them. We've been negotiating for a while. I still have some options overseas, but it's very intriguing to play at home. I'm not going to lie to you. It'd be amazing for my family, my friends, and my kids especially. So it has a special place in my heart. So I don't want to say yes and I don't want to say no because I haven't decided yet, and I have some good options overseas. So for me, it's a great opportunity, I think, for Newfoundland and for basketball, but also for the community and the kids. I think it'd be amazing to spread basketball more. And I think if I was involved, that would be my sole purpose, would be to, to make awareness and to help and be in the community. I think this team has to be 100% in the community.
So you are negotiating, so you have, management has been talking with you. One of the things that has to be at play here is the fact that the salary cap for the entire team of the Edge, I'm told, is like $150,000. How significant a drop in pay would it be for you to have to come here?
It's different. I think if I'm involved in many ways. I wouldn't just be involved as a player. So that kind of takes that out of the picture. So obviously it'd be a significant pay cut from overseas, but I don't want to get involved in that because it's different. This is a point in my career that I'm at, and it's interesting, but my heart is here. I'm at home and different things. So obviously I want to play at a high level in Europe if that opportunity comes and the right team comes along where I can bring my family. And Europe's also in a bit of a up and down situation as well. So there's a lot of factors now as I'm older, and I have 3 small kids that I have to take into consideration. So there's a lot of factors and a lot of different things. It's not just about money, it's not just about that. So my role with the team would be more than financial. It'd be, like I said, I think this is a great opportunity for the community, a great opportunity for the kids in the schools, and I think I'd really push that aspect of the team's involvement, and I'd be a special part of that as well.
Are you at all hesitant because the team is just starting up, it's not a proven product in this market, or is it good that it's brand new and that you could influence the team in a big way?
Both, what you said. I mean, obviously it's a big step for me. It's a big fear for me. There's so much uncertainty. Like I told you earlier, it's one of those things that, if you saw it play out, you knew what you're getting into. You can weigh the pros and cons till 12 o'clock tonight, but there's so much uncertainty that you're unfamiliar of. Typically I'll have 3 or 4 teams on the table, and I'll choose the best city, best situation, best coach, But right now, I don't know anything, so there's a whole bunch of uncertainty to make that decision. But then on the same point, I feel if I was involved, there's a lot of things I would have to influence in the way things were done. And like I said, I think for this team to be successful, it has to be Newfoundland's team. You can't just come in and not stay around. You got to be out in the community. You got to be 100% involved. You got to be going to the schools. You got to get the kids involved. And you really got to spread basketball throughout the whole province. So I have my philosophies on how things have to work. And if this was to work in the end, those things would be implemented, and that would be a strong role in that part.
Carl, when is a decision going to be made?
I'm not sure. I mean, like I said, they got a few weeks before they start, so I guess, you know, if the right thing comes along or we can come to an agreement, then it'll be announced. But if not, like I said, I have to consider some of these options I have in Greece and Spain as well. So we'll see.
Good luck with the big decision. I know fans here would be delighted to see you playing at home, but best of luck in your decision.
All right. Thanks for coming.
He's really torn. He did say 50-50. His heart is wanting one way, but he has to be practical about the deal that he could negotiate. So I guess he said a couple of weeks, maybe?
Maybe as a manager. Who knows?
Who knows? Well, there's nothing like the lush colors of autumn. Check out these brilliant reds, yellows, and orange from our neighbors one province over.
All of these photos were taken in scenic Nova Scotia. Photographers across the province relish this beautiful season because it doesn't last long and winter frost isn't too far away.
Let's introduce you to our young athlete of the day. This is Alyssa Smith of Paradise. She's 6 and played with the Paradise Youth Soccer Association League this summer for the 2nd year.
And she loved every minute of it and is taking part in their fall program as well.
Great job, Alyssa. You're today's young athlete of the day.
So you got out of the office today?
Well, I kind of, not really. I got out of the office and came here to the studio. So I've been visiting at a different school each week.
Right.
But of course, we can only drive so far. So today we did a virtual visit. Oh. And today I was talking to a school in Happy Valley Goose Bay.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so I think we have some of this footage here.
Ooh.
Yeah, so through the joys of technology, was talking to the Queen of Peace, Happy Valley School, the Queen of Peace School in Happy Valley Goose Bay. Easy for me to say. Those are the grade 5s, and of course they were doing their weather unit there. So always great to talk to the grade 5s. They had lots of great questions, and of course the one advantage of that was I could bring the laptop around and show them the studio. So it was kind of cool.
Oh, I bet they enjoyed that.
Definitely.
Excellent. So people are going to be booking virtual tours with you all the time?
Yeah, well, there's a wait list now. So we'll get to as many as we can this year for sure. Always lots of fun. Have a look at current temperatures where we're at 19 degrees in southern Ontario. And, you know, Debbie and Anthony, this is the time of year where we're tracking the warm air and the cold air. And basically, we're on one side of the roller coaster or we're on the other. And right now we're certainly on the downside of things as temperatures have been really cooling off over the last day or so. But another warm up on the way, and it's thanks to this system, which is again rolling into western Labrador tonight. Southerly push of air. Area of high pressure is going to come in and bring us some sunshine as well as we roll into the Thursday time period. And here's how it's all going to play out. Our low from the last 24 hours moves out. We have a quiet start to Wednesday, but again, that next system already rolling into Labrador with some snow. We'll bring some flurries to the higher elevations of western Newfoundland tomorrow, but this is primarily a shower maker that'll move across the island, warm us up into the high single digits for Wednesday. In fact, temperatures will generally be around that 8-9 degree range for most of the island, a little bit cooler for the northern peninsula and across southern Labrador, or we're into the low single digits. Again, with that rise above zero, those flurries will mix with showers across most of Labrador for tomorrow afternoon. That low moves out by Thursday morning, clearing out nicely across the island. In fact, Thursday is a beauty day on the island for this time of year. Temperatures near seasonal, low double digits in Labrador. Showers into Labrador City, approaching Happy Valley Goose Bay by Thursday evening, but you're staying dry there as well. Temperatures in that 6-7 degree range for most of Labrador, a little cooler along the coast, and into the 10 to 12 degree range across the island. So really looking quite nice. Now we're going to stay into the warm temperatures for Friday, southerly flow, but this system does start to approach. So we're into the showers for the afternoon for the west, into central Newfoundland through the mid to late afternoon. I think St. John's will stay dry until Friday evening if you've got some Friday evening plans. Again, we'll keep you updated over the next couple days, but looks like you'll likely need the umbrella. Temperatures near 2 degrees in Lab City where we may see a late day flurry mixing in. Again, 12 to 14 on the island. Little look into the weekend. Push of cold air comes in Saturday morning where I think we're looking at flurries again for the west coast. Chance of some showers or grapple along the northeast coast. And then we're clearing out as we roll into the Sunday time period, which does look like a brighter day. So temperatures, though, still staying in that 7-8 degree range for Saturday into Sunday. Monday into Tuesday, starting to rebound temperature-wise once again. Now, as we look into Labrador, again, Happy Valley Goose Bay, a chance of seeing some flurries there tomorrow. Showers starting to move out, and then pretty solid looking weekend there as well. Our viewer picture of the day from Bottom Brook from Heather Williams Chalk. And Anthony, any guesses today?
I was going to say the Codroy Valley. I have not caught salmon there.
Actually, this one comes from central Newfoundland and near the Lewisport area. And actually just south of Lewisport is, actually the Bottom Brook runs right through Lewisport.
Nice.
So beautiful picture there and a good guess, Mr. Germain. Thanks for playing.
We'll try again tomorrow night. Thanks, Heather, and thanks for watching, everyone. Have a great night. See you tomorrow.
See ya. Yeah, it's